How you doing? All right, this is something different than I usually talk about on my YouTube channel here, but there's some stuff going on in California that's got me a little bit concerned. And as some of you might know, if you're not new to my channel, I am originally from California. I was born in Lancaster, California, which is Lancaster, Palmdale, the Mojave Desert. From there, in like third grade, we moved to Valencia, lived on Lyons Avenue, went to Old Orchard Elementary School, fourth and fifth grade, right across the street from Magic Mountain, right down the street from the Getty Museum on the 405. 405 goes across the Grapevine, turns into the 99, and then after, let's see here, we might take the long way here. After Valencia, we moved to Clovis, California, which Clovis is it's the sister city to Fresno. Fresno and Clovis connect. The only thing that changes is the crime rate and the color of the street signs. And then that's where I spent the rest of my time as a kid, sixth grade through, well, after high school, all the way through to like 2013, right around there, 2012, 2013, forget when I left. So California is my home state, and I loved it there. I have family there. A lot of friends, all the people that I grew up with. A lot of good memories. I've traveled up and down the state. My dog's barking at a backhoe. I've traveled more in California than any other state in the United States. Most of my memories are from California. I actually was an employee of the state of California. Some of you have heard me talk about being a firefighter. I was actually employed by the state of California at what's called state active duty. So I was a military firefighter for the 144th Fighter Wing on the traditional side, which is what they call it when you were a traditional guard. Hey Willie, that guy's just working on the road, buddy. It's okay. He's working hard, man. Leave him alone. So anyway, as a traditional guardsman with the Air Force, the Air National Guard, which we all go to the same basic training in San Antonio, Texas. All go to the same school. So if you're in the Air National Guard, you're in the Air Force basically. Do all the same deployments. It's a little bit different because you're not working 100% full time. But anyway. My position full-time at the fire department was called state active duty. So I was literally and we would respond to emergencies we were at the Fresno Yosemite International Airport. It's the Yosemite International Airport because they have like one flight to Mexico, but they just needed to change the name. It was called FAT, Fresno Air Terminal. And people started getting a little worked up about that, so they went through the process to add that flight to Mexico and change that name. So I think about California a lot, you know. I miss it. I miss my family and my friends, and I watched it start to go downhill when I lived there, you know. From the time I was a kid, I saw it gradually just get worse and worse and worse and worse. Not every area of California, but most of it. So there are, you know, it's kind of like having like that messed up family member that they're like on and off drugs. They're always making bad decisions. You know, they're in another state, and you're kind of wondering like how they doing. I wonder if they're still going downhill or if things are getting better, or you know. But we don't talk to them that much. You just kind of hear stuff, and you know, that's like how California is to me. But yeah, so I think about it a lot. Think about my family, my friends, and have a genuine interest in how they're doing, and hope they get better. Hope that they can become sustainable again and make better decisions in life. So California is split up into basically three parts, like almost four parts. So you have Southern California, you've got San Diego and the Los Angeles area. That's pretty much all Southern California. And then when you get up to the Grapevine, the mountains, the Los Angeles hills, you go over the Grapevine where it changes from the 405 to the 99, and that's what takes you into the Central Valley or the San Joaquin Valley. And that's pretty much from Bakersfield. Willie's excited today. It's pretty much from Bakersfield up to about now like Modesto, Stockton area. And the San Joaquin Valley is that they play a big role in the United States. Actually, it's a lot of farming and agriculture, a lot of hardworking people, a lot of industry, a lot of shipping, warehousing, a lot of hard workers, a lot of blue-collar workers. That's where Fresno and Clovis are, right in the middle of that. San Joaquin Valley. That's actually where Devin Nunes is from, not too far from where I grew up. I believe he's from Visalia, which is 45 minutes away from Fresno. I used to work in Visalia. Anyway, so you've got the Central Valley, the San Joaquin Valley, and above that you have what everybody calls Northern California. Well, everybody in Southern California calls Fresno Northern California because it's north of them. But Northern California is basically after you get past Modesto, Stockton, you get into the Bay Area, and then Northern California is pretty much two parts. You have the Bay Area that it's making its way all the way up into, now I don't want to say Redding, but you get the Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco, Pleasanton, those kind of cities right around the Bay. And then above that is Northern California, which they were talking about calling that the state of Jefferson. I think they wanted to break off from the rest of California because they were getting drained by all the regulations and the laws that everybody below them were creating. And Northern Californians are pretty much like Southern Oregoners wanted to break that off. So yeah, you've got a lot of different sections. San Diego area, Los Angeles, the Central Valley, the Bay Area, Northern California. The power outages, yeah, I'm finally getting to the point here, but for the people that aren't from California or don't really have a good visual of what the state is like, everybody thinks it's palm trees and beaches. The entire state is not. Where I grew up, there was a lot of people driving four-wheel drive trucks. I had one. I was one of them. Farming, stuff like that. So, but there's some power outages that are going on in California, and the reason for these power outages, what everybody's being told, is for safety. And one thing I've learned after being in the military for 15 years and being awake since just after 9/11 and listening to the mainstream news tell us different things, or seeing systems put into place in the name of safety, that the safety is the cover story and there's a hidden agenda. Not to say that safety isn't a main concern. It is, but a lot of times the powers be will use safety as a problem, reaction, solution, paradigm kind of thing, the Hegelian dialect, where, hey, you're not safe, we need to do something. So they create the not safe situation out of thin air, or actually creates an unsafe situation, and then they come to save the day and say, don't worry, we're all going to help you guys. And it's like, well, okay, you're helping us because of this thing you created. That's not cool. That's the problem, reaction, solution paradigm. So all of these power outages saying we're doing this for safety. And I'm just not seeing it, because it's not going to be safe for a bunch of people that rely on having electricity and functioning on the internet. If they can't get electricity, they can't get on the internet, they can't, their food's going to get ruined. People aren't prepared for this kind of stuff. They're, they've been told that if they're a prepper, if they prepare for disasters, there's some kind of wacko nut job like the Unabomber, which actually, yeah, I don't even want to get into that. He might not even have been the one that sent those. Who knows? Who knows? But they're just told, if you prepare for disaster, you're some kind of nut job, which is absolutely the furthest thing from reality. If you have a generator, if you've got extra water, if you've got extra food, if you have firearms and ammunition, you're prepared. You're prepared for the worst, but that doesn't mean that you always hope for the best or have positive intentions. So turning off the power in California is going to create a lot of what's the word I should use? Hardship. It's going to create a lot of hardship for a lot of people in the name of safety. And they're like, okay, there are things way worse here in California than the fires. A lot of the fires were started intentionally anyway, in my opinion. People can discuss that outside of this live stream if they want, but there are much more dangerous things in California than the fires. That sounds terrible, but if you live there, you know what I'm talking about. So I saw a map of the areas that will be affected during the power outages. And it looks to me like it on the map, and there might be multiple maps, but the one that I saw, actually there was two I saw. One of them was pretty damn funny. The Pleasanton Police Department said areas that will be affected in the power outages, and they just took like a red marker and just marked all the way down the state. So they're those guys, it seems like they've got a sense of humor. But the actual map that I saw showed mostly Northern California, above Stockton and Modesto, like Pleasanton, San Francisco, Oakland, a bunch of the Bay Area, all the way up to Redding. So all these different patches around the Bay Area. Now, my first thought was, okay, there could be multiple reasons for this happening, and I can't quite figure out which one it is. So a lot of times we have the DS, you know what that acronym means? Creating havoc for people to be distracted from what's actually going on and be in fear and not pay attention to politics, or be distracted right around the time that something is supposed to be voted in, which I guess is political. But so that happens. So there's one scenario that they want to turn off the power, water they go get, all these different things, a generator to keep their computer and their modem going, or their air conditioner. Well, it's cooling off pretty much everywhere in California. It's real nice in the Bay Area right now. They've got beautiful weather going on, so that weather won't be too much of a factor, which is perfect timing, by the way. People won't die of heat stroke, and they won't freeze, because it does get hot in California for people to die of heat stroke, and it also does get cold enough for people to freeze. Believe it or not, it's not all Malibu. Okay, so there's one theory. Another theory is, this is the positive theory that I really hope is the case. So there's a lot of big industries that have been completely taking control of our society, and they're doing everything they can to just keep people in control, under control. Whoa, you all right, Willie? Sorry, buddy. Somebody messed with my brakes. Where are all of the big tech corporations located? Google. Well, we'll just start there. Name off all of the big tech corporations that have been censoring us, that have been creating false narratives to motivate people in certain directions for elections, that hide information, that Zach Voorhees has called out the whistle on them being responsible for mass gaslighting to sell more products, because when people are under stressful situations, or they're confused, they're not sure of what their reality is, they need some kind of release, they go out and buy products. Amazing Polly covered that really well, actually. So basically, a lot of the people that are running artificial intelligence and algorithms to control society, a lot of them are based right around the Bay Area. All of the power is going out in those areas. So my other theory, which is a very hopeful one, is that all of the power is being shut down in those areas because QAnon, the generals in all of the different branches of military, I saw a picture of who I think they are yesterday: Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy. I don't know if I saw any Coast Guard in there or not. Maybe I missed a uniform, but basically 4 branches of the military who I think are QAnon, and they are trying to take back our freedom, give it back to the people. They could be running operations in Northern California and needing the power shut down to basically go into some of these internet and big tech businesses that have been creating all these false narratives and been trying to control population for so long, since the 90s, to either shut down some of those systems, to take over some of those systems, to gather evidence for mass arrests or military tribunals, to prove connections to vested interests in other countries, and indict, arrest, and prosecute the people responsible through a military tribunal. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Not everyone. You know, see, whenever I talk about these groups, I talk about the group in general, but we all know that most people are good people, and they have a job, and they're taking orders. Basically, they're doing their job, and they have to do what they're asked to do, or else they'll get fired. So the people we're looking at are the people way up at the top, the CEOs, people that are in charge of different companies that are paid by other international political interests to create certain agendas, to create certain narratives, to carry out certain missions that they wouldn't otherwise do that unless they had a huge benefit, you know, lots of money. Those are the only 2 scenarios I can think of right now, because they wouldn't want to lose all that money from electric bills. California is the most. Let's see. I think they're the most. Yeah, there's the most people in California out of any state in the United States. I think there. How many millions of people are in California? I should know this. Last time I remember, there were like 30 something million in California. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe there's way more than that now. I'm not sure. But if you look at the mass indictment lists, state by state, California has the most indictments. And maybe that's where they're going to start. Let's see, not the Secretary of Defense. Was it the Secretary of Defense that tweeted? Who was it that tweeted that? Okay, well, anyway, I can't remember who tweeted this, but basically, I think the Inspector General talked about the FISA declassification happening on the 18th. Now, I really, more than anything I've ever wanted in my life, that's no exaggeration. The thing I want most in my life is for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act Court, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, to be declassified. It's been abused. It's been used as a weapon. There are trillions of dollars affected the FISA court in mass surveillance and organized control of American citizens and not American citizens. Got FISA Section 702 and FISA 12333. Just look them up. It's been used as a weapon against me personally. I think against our president, Carter Page, George Papadopoulos. I'm not putting me in the same category as those guys. I'm not as important as them. I was never an advisor to the president or anything like that. I was pretty much an average military guy that used my intuition and connected a bunch of dots and made a lot of. There's been stuff going on before that, but that's a whole nother talk show. My other something videos to learn about that. So FISA gets declassified. There are millions of people that are going to be affected by this negatively because a lot of them have been employed by these surveillance jobs that they're told, hey, you're helping your country. This is a matter of national security. You're doing a great job. We need you to watch these people. We need this. We need that. And people literally have an income because of that. Oh, who are you barking at, dude? Oh, the guy on the side of the... All right, you guys got to see this. Let's see. My dog's barking at that guy on the side of this truck right here. He looks happy, man. Why are you barking at that guy? He's smiling. Costco. All right. So the FISA declassification is going to affect millions of people. And that happens on the 18th. So the United States Marine Corps reserves have all been recalled to active duty. Now, when you're in the Guard, the Army Guard, the Air National Guard, the Marine Reserves, the Navy Reserves, I don't even know if the Coast Guard has the reserves. I'm not sure. But what they do is, if there's something going on, like say when 9/11 happened, and we were all sitting at home, didn't know what was going on yet. 9/11 happened. Our command structure got out the recall rosters. Everybody's got their name on the recall roster to report to active duty. They've got your backup phone number, your ad, everything to get a hold of you, your contacts of your family members. So call your first phone number, you don't answer. They call your second phone number, you don't answer. They start calling your family members, they don't answer. They'll have somebody from your shop go to your house and notify you that you've been recalled to active duty. And most of us would just answer our phone if we see it's the base calling, because we want to, you know, the base calls, you answer. It's our duty. I didn't even have to get a call on 9/11. I saw what was going on in the news. I called the base and I said, what do we need to do? And then I was there later that afternoon to report to duty. I think we were there for like 21 days straight, something like that. Walking around the fire station, flak jackets and Kevlar helmets for unexploded ordnances. Everybody in every shop was doing that. It wasn't just the fire department. Everyone doing that. Personal, comm, maintenance, supply, headquarters, services, which is they take care of the food. Everybody was doing that. So that's basically how the recall roster system works to be recalled to active duty. Now, all the Marines, I thought it was every branch. I thought it was every branch of the military that's been recalled to active duty. But the more I looked into it, the more it looked like it was just the Marine Corps reserves that have been recalled to active duty. And you know, those guys are our warriors. You know, we've got airmen, which they call us the chair force, which we've got a few sections of the Air Force that actually go out and kick ass. A lot of us, you know, like in the Air Force, you have the pilots, they go do cool stuff. You've got special forces, firefighters and police officers. I'm missing somebody, but a lot of people are like technical jobs. There's every job you can think of in the Air Force. And then you have Army. Every branch has pretty much every job you can think of, but the Army's more known for being soldiers. They call them ground pounders. And they go hit the road and they carry out battle missions and stuff like that. Navy, they're all on boats. Well, they're not. Actually, they have a base in Visalia, which is nowhere close to the ocean, but they can get their jets to the coast real quick. But where I was going with this, the Marines are true warriors. Those guys are trained to fight and kill. They are walking weapons. If you were ever out going to school somewhere and you're doing a joint force training, like when I was in the fire department, it was every branch was in my fire academy. If you were ever out with the guys from class, somebody started crap, you'd want to make sure that you had some Marine Corps buddies with you. You'd be okay. Not that they all want to just go out and kill and destroy and, you know, mangle people and stuff like that, but they will if they have to. And they're good at their job. So the Marine Corps has been activated for civil unrest the day after the FISA court is supposed to be declassified. So I'm just connecting a lot of these dots, putting a lot of things together. We've got power outages in California. We've got helicopters flying over people's houses that aren't used to seeing helicopters. A lot of targeted individuals have been getting that for years. They live out in the middle of nowhere. They got helicopters flying over, planes flying directly over their house, making noise campaigns, stuff like that. But this is a lot of QAnon followers, a lot of, well, just people in general are seeing helicopters fly over their house, and they're taking pictures of it, taking video of it on their phone, and they're freaking out, going, I've never seen this before. What's going on? Why are these military helicopters everywhere? And this is happening all over the United States. So I haven't seen a lot of that around here in Arizona lately. On the west side of Phoenix, I haven't seen many helicopters. But so the people are reporting that all over the United States. There are intentional power outages all over California, well, mostly above Central California up to Redding. And we've got the FISA declassification happening on the 18th. Marines activated for civil unrest on the 19th. This could be the storm, people. This could be the result of the Great Awakening and the beginning of the end of corruption and tyranny in the United States. And then hopefully that will cause the ripple effect and will stop some of the programs in other countries as well. There's so many people that are being affected by this all over the world. If they're free thinkers, if they're empowered individuals, if they're awake, if they're journalists, if they are nationalists, whatever. There's so many different things people have been attacked for over the last decades. So I'm really hoping that's it. Worst case scenario, not to be negative, but just to touch all the different possible scenarios, is deep state is coming after us. Yeah. Oh, I've got a silver Suburban right here with his light. Okay, they've got a cop license plate, thin blue line license plate. So hopefully they're driving around to keep me safe. They've got guns. I don't. I got taken away. So let's all hope and pray that this isn't a deep state takeover. Install totalitarian communist government and take out all of us truthers, all of us patriots, all of us cognitive thinkers. Let's hope it is to actually take out the deep state and hope that a civil war does not start. Deep state doesn't, they don't back down. They have a lot of money or capital, however you want to say it. They've got a lot of power, a lot of resources. They can control pretty much everything. And this is like a David versus Goliath kind of thing. So let's just hope and pray that there's backup systems in place that won't allow a civil war or civil unrest to occur on a mass scale. If it does, let's just hope it's some compartmentalized, smaller events. Pray for minimal casualties. But pray that there's actually something going on, that on the 18th and the 19th, that this isn't just PSYOP or, well, I almost said or scare tactic. That's scare tactic is a PSYOP, psychological operation. So we've all been waiting for something to happen for years now. Let's hope it happens and it's positive. Let's hope and pray that Willis is excited about it too. You excited, Willie? You want to drain the deep state, buddy? All right, I think I'm done. Got that off my chest. I've been driving circles here because I'm going to the post office and I didn't stop right in the middle of my live stream, so I just kind of took the long way. Driven past both post offices twice now, wasting gas. I might need this, but it was to bring this stream to everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some information to research on your own, make some phone calls, get on the internet, talk to people about some of this stuff, not for fear, for peace of mind, and to be prepared just in case. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and that's all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning. If you haven't been to the website, go to my website at bardin.us. my social media, my YouTube channel's on there. I just uploaded a new video of how the FBI would explain the targeted individual phenomenon, and there's a video right under that that I didn't make, but is a great explanation of what a lot of targeted individuals have gone through, or whatever you want to call it, victim of involuntary technological interface, as my brother Kim Peartree calls it. Whatever you want to call it, it's a mass control program that is straight out of a movie. It's like if you've never been subjected to it, or you're just, who would take the time to do that? Why are you so important? What makes you so special? Who would spend the money on that? We're getting closer to the answer to that, so I'm going to end on that. Everybody have a great day.